Hello, I'm I'm Jacob Heimovitz, and I gotta tell you something is that on in 2002 of late January to early February 2002, my dad took me and my twin sister at age 4, both at age 4, to see Beauty and the Beast in IMAX. It was a re-release for its 10th anniversary, and we had a lot of fun seeing it there. Then in 2002 of the holiday season, the we I saw a Disney animated cult classic film, the Treasure Island and Outer Space called Treasure Planet, 2 times, and I liked it when it came out in theaters. I saw many movies in theaters throughout my whole life when I was a little kid and a teenager and a preteen. I've seen a lot of movies in theaters when I was a little kid, younger than 11, like Finding Nemo at the El Capitan Theater, and I really liked it when it came out. I saw Ratatouille and liked it when it came out in theaters. I saw it in theaters 4 times. I saw Wall-E in theaters at age 10. I liked it. Saw it in theaters multiple times, actually two times. I saw B-Movie, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Shrek the Third, Kung Fu Panda, all in theaters, and I liked it when I was 9 or 10 or 8. And I also and I and much more. And the first movie I saw in theaters that has Dolby Atmos at the El Capitan Theater was Iron Man 3, and I really liked it when it came out, and still like it now. And then in 2006 of spring, I saw Ice Age: The Meltdown in theaters at the AMC Burbank 16 at the Regal Calabasas Stadium 6 before Regency took over that theater 16 years later. And I really loved it. One of my favorite movies when it came out. I saw Surf's Up in theaters when I was 9 and liked it when it came out, and still it used to be one of my favorite movies when I was a little kid. But I used to see a lot of movies in theaters, but in on August in August 2007, my dad won this. My dad bought a Panasonic 5-disc DVD player paired with a 5.1 channel home theater surround sound system with Dolby Digital and DTS, and I watch a lot of movies on my. When I was turning 10 on September 24th, 2007, and in August 2007, we bought my first home theater system with a DVD player with 5 disc set. Actually, it's not a 5 disc set; it's a 5 disc DVD player from Panasonic. It was paired with a Panasonic 5.1 channel home theater system with Dolby Digital and DTS. And I watch a lot of famous, popular, good, successful, memorable stuff. I watch a lot of famous, popular, good, memorable, successful kids movies for kids younger than 11, like a Goofy movie, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, Incredibles, Shrek the Third, and probably more. I don't know. I liked all of them when I was 10 after seeing it. And Jimmy Neutron, Shrek the Third, and Incredibles used to be one of my top all-time favorite movies when I was a little kid. And then we then I then we got rid of our Panasonic home theater speaker system, and we got a Sony HD full HD TV. Then we bought the Onkyo. Well, since then we bought the Onkyo TXSR444 7-channel Dolby Atmos home theater surround audio receiver. This is my first Dolby Atmos AV receiver. I set it up to the Panasonic speakers. I bought I went to see more and more movies in Dolby Cinema and IMAX lasers, such as two films, The Fast and Furious franchise, that are so good. I went to see the latest Mission Impossible movie in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision 4K HDR in theaters in Dolby Cinema. I saw Equalizer 3 in Dolby Cinema, and they're one of my top favorite movies. I saw many of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. My first movie I saw in theaters in Dolby Cinema that was good, that's now one of my favorite movies, is Titanic, the Dolby Cinema re-release. Then I saw The Matrix 20th anniversary re-release in Dolby Cinema, and it's now one of my top favorite movies. And let's get back to the home theater system. And basically, throughout when Dolby Atmos had its inception, I always wanted a Dolby Atmos home theater speaker system set up. So in in the Super Bowl 2016, there was an interesting commercial starring Liam Neeson, Man from the Future, about announcing their first 4K HDR Dolby Vision OLED TV at 65 or 77 inches with a picture on glass design, and it comes with a sound bar. And I really wanted that TV, but it's a lot of money. I couldn't afford it. So I ended up buying the LG OLED 55V6 4K HDR Dolby Vision Smart OLED TV. And the picture looks really, really good. You get really great black levels, very great contrast ratios. You get really good picture quality, really good upscale. You got really good picture. You get really good black levels, very great colors, very great detail, great shadow detail. The picture is absolutely amazing. It's like a work of art. But the one thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have Dolby Atmos on many of its built-in TV apps after its firmware update, meaning that the 2017 LG OLED 4K HDR Dolby Vision smart TVs do have Dolby Atmos via HDMI ARC. So I wanted to buy the Sony C9F since after its CES 2018 as the world's first soundbar that does 3.1 channels of Dolby Atmos and DTS-X. It has Dolby Vision HDR and 4K, so I bought that. It came with a subwoofer and rear speakers, and after what I bought the rear speakers after almost a year after I bought the soundbar and the subwoofer, and it sounded much better than TV speakers. But in 2021, I despised it so much because it didn't produce a true Dolby Atmos 3D object-based sound effect in my room, because it's made for only for rooms with vaulted, slanted, heavily beamed or less than ideal ceilings, because it doesn't have upward fibers that bounce on off the ceiling. It's made for those who have beam ceilings, slanted ceilings, angled ceilings. So I want to buy it. So I'm trying. So throughout 2021, I've been saving tons of money, even though I haven't got a job yet, for a true Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround sound speaker system. So I wanted to buy the Nakamichi Shockwave Elite or Ultra with 2 subwoofers, 2 or 4 surround speakers, and the soundbar, because those are true discrete, high quality, high performance, high resolution, high fidelity, high performance Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround soundbar based sound systems that sound the same as a traditional home theater surround sound speaker system with the convenience of a soundbar. But instead, I have a 5-year-old Onkyo Dolby Atmos DTS-X. No, it's not. No, I said it wrong. I had a 5-year-old Onkyo Dolby Atmos home theater surround audio receiver with 7 channels. So I ended up buying the Klipsch 5.1.2 channel Dolby Atmos home theater surround sound speaker system setup with each pieces. Then it came in the mail, and then I hooked it up to the Onkyo Dolby Atmos receiver, and after calibrating it, it sounded really good. The one thing that didn't sound good is the front speakers. It wasn't connected to the receiver, so I used the remaining speaker wire and connect the Onkyo receiver. I hooked up the front speakers to the remaining. I hooked up the front speakers to the receiver with the remaining speaker wire. After calibrating it, it sounded much better. It sounded really good. You're at the movies. So in late December 2002, no, said it wrong. In late December 2022 through early 2023, I was saving money for a new Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround audio video receiver with HDR, Dolby Vision, that has very great reviews from critics, users, consumers, and listeners. So I was deciding between the Denon AVR-S970H, the Sony AN1000, or the Denon X2800H. So the Sony AN1000 had a much better 3D object-based spatial immersive multi-dimensional moving surround sound quality via room correction software, but the Denon AVR-S970H and the Denon AVR-X2800H, they do have slightly better sound quality, but the Denon AVR-X2800H has a slightly much better sound quality, or it's better sound quality. So I ended up getting the Denon AVR-S970H since all 3 receivers got very great reviews. The Denon AVR-S970H also got very great reviews. So I got it at Video Audio Center, and I bought it in June 10th, 2023, hooked it up on June 11th, 2023, and I calibrated the speakers, and it sounded much better than my old Dolby Atmos receiver. It now had my speakers originally didn't have DTS-X, but now it did from the receiver. So I watch a lot of movies, TV shows, and listen to music and watch sports games on the Denon AVRS970H paired with surround speakers, and the sound quality didn't sound that good. It sounded much better, but it didn't sound a little off because the LFE plus main, once it's activated, it sounded too brash. So I turned it off and set to LFE. And the and the and the when watching movies like Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Equalizer movies, when dynamic volume is set to heavy and dynamic EQ on, it sounded like it had too much compression. So what I did is I turned the dynamic volume on light for less compression and the dynamic EQ on, and I discovered that you need to cross over the speakers to get better sound quality. So my Klipsch tower speakers go down to 38 hertz. So I said 60 hertz. The Klipsch center speaker goes down to 82 hertz. So I said 110 hertz. And the the Klipsch surround speakers, they go down to 58 hertz. I set it to around 80 hertz. And the subwoofer low pass filter, I set it to 80 hertz. And the upward firing speakers for Dolby Atmos DTS-X, I set it to 120 hertz. And the channel level adjustment, I set all of them to plus 12. And it sounded way too powerful, way too loud, too brash. So I set the front speakers to plus 9 and the surround speakers to plus 9, and the Atmos upward firing and DTS-X upward firing speakers to plus 10, and the center speakers to plus 12, and the dialogue enhancer on high to get this very great vocal clarity, great dialogue clarity. And setting the speakers small on the fronts, it sounded much better while watching movies and shows and listening to music and watching sports games. It sounded very clear, very loud. It sounds very powerful. It sounds like you're at a Dolby Cinema or IMAX laser movie. The Denon AVR-S970H, a year after buying it, after calibrating the speakers multiple times, setting the dynamic volume to light, setting the crossover speakers to 60 hertz on the fronts and 110 hertz on the center speaker, and everything else to 80 hertz, and the upper firing speakers to 120 hertz. It sounded much better. It sounds like you're at the movies. It sounds like you're at a Dolby Cinema with Atmos speakers paired with 4K HDR laser projectors, especially with Dolby Vision. It sounds like you're in an IMAX theater. There's a lot of big, great, powerful bass. There's a lot of great mid-range. The sound quality is very well balanced. The sound quality is super amazing. You're watching movies watching movies like Lone Survivor, watching movies like Black Hawk Down, watching movies like the Avengers movies, watching movies like the Spider-Man movies, the Fast and Furious movies, the Transformers movies, watching movies like the Expendables first two movies, watching movies like the Mission Impossible movies, watching movies like Super 8. They all sound very, very great. It sounds like you can hear and feel the movie as well as the filmmakers, the sound team, the musical team intended them to experience it. It's way better than my old soundbar, and no soundbar without rear speakers can get close to this. So it sounded really, really great. And basically, I'm very satisfied with my results. But the one thing I discovered is that 80 hertz is the THX standard. Just like how Star Wars A New Hope came out in theaters, It made surround sound. Well, Star Wars: A New Hope came out in theaters in 1977 in the summer, and it was mixed in Dolby Stereo. That was for surround sound. And when Star Wars was released in theaters in Dolby Stereo, it made surround sound much more cheaper, affordable, took off, easy to use, and it made surround sound quality way louder, clearer, dynamic, way more impactful, way more bass, treble, mid-range heavy. It sounded very immersive, it sounded very room filling, it sounded crystal clear. But the problem is, it didn't sound as great as it was mixed in a studio made by filmmakers. So when Star Wars Return of the Jedi came out, it was the first film to be mixed in THX, and that Star Wars Return of the Jedi came out in the summer of 1983, and it was the very first film that made sound quality in theaters, whether it's sound like it was mixed as the way the filmmakers intended. It sounds like you're at and it was mixed in a studio. THX is not a recording studio. It's a quality insurance that you'll also hear and sound. You'll hear a movie or the way the filmmakers, the sound team tend you to hear it. So basically, Star Wars: A New Hope made sound quality more louder, clearer, dynamic, impactful. Made sound way louder and room filling. But when Star Wars: Return of the Jedi came out, it made sound quality close as you can get to a mixing studio. Sound like sounds the same as intended by filmmakers. So same thing with my speakers. The speakers sounded really, really great, but it didn't sound like it was in a THX level because according to Google AI, even though 60 hertz on the front speakers and 110 hertz on the center speakers sounds much better than setting it below the speakers that goes down to for bass quality. Instead, I set the Klipsch front speakers to 80 hertz, and I set the Klipsch center speaker to 90 hertz, and the Klipsch surround speakers to 80 hertz, and I set the subwoofer low pass filter to 120 hertz. No, I said it wrong. I set the Klipsch subwoofer to I set the Klipsch subwoofer to 100. No, I said it wrong. I set the Klipsch subwoofer to 80 hertz. I set the Klipsch subwoofer to 80 hertz, and I set the Klipsch upward firing Dolby Atmos and DTS-X upward firing speakers to 120 hertz to get that THX level sound quality. Once the Klipsch front speakers is set to 80 hertz because it goes down 38 hertz. The Klipsch center speaker set to 90 hertz, and the Klipsch surrounds and subwoofer low pass filter set to 80 hertz, and the Klipsch upward firing speakers set to 120 hertz. There's a lot of great bass management. There's a lot of great transition from the speakers to the subwoofer. There's a lot of great powerful bass. The sound quality is amazing. Fills the entire room. The sound quality is so impactful. Watching movies like Braveheart or Independence Day, watching movies like watching movies like National Treasure movies. It sounded amazing. All the movies I watched on the receiver after calibrating the speakers, they're all either in Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, or 5.1. And listening to music like from country to rock to hip hop to R&B to pop and everything in between, whether it's in Dolby Atmos or not, it sounded super amazing. It's a great system. You'll hear the sound quality as it was mixed in a studio. The sound quality is very room filling, and the sound quality is on another level. And I can hear surround sound 3D. I can hear sound objects from movies and shows flying above, around, through, and beyond you. Watching TV shows like Falcon and Winter Soldier, Mission Impossible, the original series, The Fugitive, The Equalizer, Season 1. It sounded super amazing. It sounds like you're at the scene. I can hear watching shows like The Fall Guy. It sounds really, really great. It sounds like you can hear surround sound objects flying above, around, through, and beyond you, everywhere in between. Most of them are non-Dolby Atmos, but one of them is in. Most of them are not in Dolby Atmos. They're mostly 5.1 or stereo. But the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was only in Dolby Atmos on Disney Plus, and the sound quality is amazing. I can hear tons of powerful, great, well, I can feel and hear great, powerful bass on my chest and on the around the room. The sound quality is like another level that soundbars with surround speakers can't match. It sounded great, and the thing is, I really love my Dolby Atmos AV receiver with DTS-X and my speakers. I have an Apple TV with 4K HDR, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos connected to the receiver, and an Oppo UDP203 4K Blu-ray player with HDR, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, DTS-X connected to the receiver, and they sound really, really great. Dolby Atmos DTS-X content was able to work flawlessly without using its TV's built-in apps, and I love my system. It's amazing. It's much different, and again, watching movies like the first Transporter movie on my AV receiver with speakers, watching movies like Fast and Furious movies on my that have DTS-X and Dolby Atmos, watching movies like The Rock, Con Air, newly remixed with Dolby Atmos and color graded, recolor graded in 4K Dolby Vision, watching movies like The Matrix, Schindler's List, The Ten Commandments, some 1 and 5.1, 2 in Dolby Vision, 4K Dolby Atmos. It sounded really, really amazing. Much next level. I love these movies to watch. Watching movies like Patriots Day, Zero Dark 30, they sounded super amazing with Dolby Atmos and DTS-X. Watching movies like the two Mad Max movies recently on my receiver, it sounds like you're great. You can hear gunshots, explosions, you can hear helicopters, rain, storms. It sounds like you're in the scene. Without upward firing speakers, you're not in the scene. It sounded amazing. And one of the things is that watching movies and TV shows and listening to music and watching sports games, watching baseball games like watching games like baseball games, hockey games, sports games, watching sports games like basketball, hockey, soccer on my receiver and speakers, it sounded super amazing. Even though it's not in Dolby Atmos, it sounds like you're at a sports arena. It sounds super different. It's really amazing. No other soundbar with surround speakers and a subwoofer. No sound bars without a subwoofer, surround speakers can't match this. So if I want to, I live in my parents' house, but I really want to save money for a new home. I want to save money to, one of the things is that watching movies like Lorraine and Air Force One and the Die Hard movies, whether it's in Dolby Atmos or not, they sounded super amazing and crystal clear. You can hear gunshots, explosions, you can hear fighting all around the room, above. It sounds super different. It's very cinematic. It's every movie and TV show I watch. It sounds extremely cinematic. It sounds very impactful. It sounds very immersive. It sounds very room filling. It sounds very impressive. It sounds like it's while you're watching the movies. This is why the sound team, the sound designers, the sound mixers, Foley team, the dialogue ADR team. I recently watched Braveheart in Dolby Atmos and 4K Dolby Vision, and it sounds super amazing. It sounds like you're in the battle scenes. It's like another level. I watched Gladiator and DTS-X. It sounded super amazing. The sound quality is different. It's so cool. I watched many of the Dodgers games on my 4K HDR OLED TV with Dolby Atmos AV receiver and speakers. It sounds like you're at the baseball stadium. It sounds amazing. I watched many Lakers games on cable, and it sounds really amazing. It sounds super different, and I love my receiver and speakers. But one of the things is that I live in my parents' house, but if I have my own home in the future, I really wanted something wireless because I don't want to buy an AV receiver, speakers, and speaker wire with Dolby Atmos speakers and a subwoofer. It's very complicated, and not everyone can afford this. It's very expensive. It requires a lot of work, and need to buy speaker wires. It costs like thousands of dollars to buy a Dolby Atmos DTS-X audio receiver and speakers and speaker wire. But if you want it, but for many people, if you want something that's very easy to set up, has very good room correction on most wireless Dolby Atmos home theater speakers. If you want something that's very easy to set up, but don't spend too much money, if you want something that sounds way better than TV speakers, but want to sound quality. That's going to sound much similar to a movie theater with Dolby Atmos. Try getting a wireless, full-on premium Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround sound speaker system, whether it's mostly a soundbar with surround speakers and subwoofer for like the Sonos Arc Ultra, the Samsung HWQ990 series with 11.1.4 channels. Try buying the Sony Broadway Theater Quad, or even the new Nakamichi Shockwave Wireless, if it's any good. Those sound really, really great. It sounds way better than normal soundbars. Try buying the JBL 11.1.4, 7.1.4 channel Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround soundbar-based systems. They sound really powerful and immersive. They come with 2 surround speakers that's detachable from the soundbar, but I recommend using those kind of as surround speakers, so you get this full cinematic movie theater quality. They sound really, really great. If you want something that's wireless, that's easy to set up, but don't want to spend too much money on surround speakers, a subwoofer, front speakers, and upward firing speakers with many speaker wires, you don't want a hugely cluttered mess. Try buying those wireless Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround sound speaker systems. It's gonna sound way better for most people and make life way easier. I really wanted one of those. Like I really wanted a wireless Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround sound speaker system in case I have my own home paired with the RGB mini LED, KD OLED, or OLED 4K HDR Dolby Vision Smart TV. I really wanted one of those, but I'm happy with what I have. Like if I work at Super King in Van Nuys, I get paid there. I get paid a lot of money there. I work mostly 3 days in the morning pushing carts. So if I save tons and tons of money, I really want to have my own home so I can buy either the Sony Broadway Theater Quad, the new Samsung HWQ990RF, or the Nakamichi Shockwave Wireless, or if there's more, Dolby Atmos DTS-X home theater surround sound speaker systems that's wireless coming out next year and beyond. They'll sound better than those. Well, that's a wrap. Bye.